Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to episode 13 here at the Curvature Chronicles. The book doesn't just open doors anymore, it opens bloodlines. Tonight, Castor and Sara are hurled into a frozen fjord, face to face with Freydis, a warrior who knows the book, knows Castor's lineage, and hates Sara on sight. Ancient gifts are named, old crimes resurface, and when steel, fists, and alien history collide, the past reminds them why it was buried. Because some reunions don't bring answers, they bring war.
The book cracked open the fabric of space again, dropping Castor and Sara into the freezing salt air of a windswept fjord. A longhouse stood proudly against the sea spray, its firelight flickering across the shoreline. From its doorway stepped Freydis, silver-eyed and unbending. Castor felt the same tug in his chest as before, familiarity, lineage, recognition. But this time he didn't stand back and observe. He walked forward. Freydis's gaze flicked to the book at his side, then back to him.
Freydis!
Tall, broad-shouldered, hair bound in frost-flecked braids, her eyes like storm water. Something in Castor's chest loosened as she approached, a release he hadn't realized he was holding.
Afason, you stand taller now. You are speaking with it, not merely surviving its voice. I told you, you wear it differently now, less like a burden, more like your own shadow.
I don't know what it's doing to me. Some days I feel stretched thin, like something's rewriting me. It's changing me, isn't it?
Not changing, son Arson. It is giving Frelsisgjof.
Frelsisgjof? Ah, freedom's gift.
So you do know your blood.
She stepped closer, brushing his arm. Before Castor could answer, Freydis's gaze snapped past him. The warmth drained from her face. Her jaw clenched.
You, Salon Sudis, surely you are not his guide, after what you did. I will not allow you to guide the artifact bearer. Get away from us.
Sara froze, violet hair catching the firelight.
What? I'm not... You should have stayed buried. Your kind left nothing but ruin.
Castor's stomach dropped. The tension pressed against his skin like heat off a forge. He raised both hands.
Okay, wait, time out. Freydis, her name's not Salon. And I'd really like to get that backstory without one of you murdering the other in front of the peanut gallery.
Neither woman blinked. Freydis lunged. Sara met her head-on, their collision shaking the ground. Vikings roared, not with fear, but exhilaration. They surged forward, forming a ring around the two women as the longhouse fire became a stage of crackling violence. Freydis advanced relentlessly. Sara countered with Zorathian precision. Each blow echoed with more than muscle, heritage, rage, buried history. Castor stumbled back.
Sara, don't hurt her. I need to talk to her.
He swept the crowd now gathered around the women.
Help her. Somebody do something.
But Jarl Castor, Freydis needs no help.
What is wrong with you people?
The fight surged again. Sara moved like quicksilver, strikes snapping too fast for human eyes. Freydis answered with grounded power, each movement honed and fluid, a warrior shaped by fire and time. Benches overturned, dust blasted into the air, walls shuddered under the force of their blows. He had expected Sara to flatten the woman. Instead, Freydis met her strike for strike, her movements flowing like someone who had spent centuries honing them. A clash of alien and Viking, both impossibly strong, each blow echoing with more than muscle, heritage, anger, secrets. Castor needn't have worried about the Viking. Freydis feinted with a left hook. Sara stepped in to counter, but Freydis spun, dropped low, and swept Sara's legs with a savage kick. Sara crashed into the dirt as the Vikings roared approval. Castor felt the truth slam into him. Freydis is like Sara, Zorathian. She knew Sara's ancestor. That realization hollowed him out. The book at his side flared suddenly, burning against his ribs. On the dais, the relic that Freydis carried answered with its own answering crimson glow. Silence fell. Freydis and Sara froze mid-motion, both pulled by the deep throbbing hum filling the hall. The red light pulsed like a heartbeat. A voice followed, not words, but a resonance every soul could feel. Danger approaches. All are at risk. The test must wait. Sara and Freydis locked eyes, alarm mirrored between them. Freydis released her grip. Sara stepped back, chest heaving. Castor clutched the book, its warmth now a warning. The runes on the ancient relic twisted and brightened. Something was coming, something greater than their fight. Even the Vikings faltered. The book glowed brighter, carving a single word across his mind in searing fire. Krenn. The air in Sara's apartment was still when the book dropped them unceremoniously onto the living room rug. Silence was a sound so complete it made Castor's pulse thunder in his ears. The book under his arm throbbed with deep, unsettling crimson. It heated, humming in low resonance. Castor stiffened.
Something's coming.
Her voice was tight, like a bowstring about to snap. She crossed to the window with deliberate care, every movement measured. Castor followed her gaze. 3 figures stood in the dark just across the street. One was unmistakable, massive frame, skin stretched taut and grey, shoulders bent as though Earth's gravity were a burden. Vrashek. But the other 2, shadows cloaked in civilian garb, eyes reflecting faint alien light, sent a cold jolt through Sara.
There are more.
More? How many more?
Just 2, but if they're with him, they have to be Krenn.
The glow of the book pulsed harder, a frantic warning. Castor felt the pressure building in his chest, as though it screamed at once, "Run!" Not staying here. Sara didn't need convincing. She grabbed his hand and pulled him toward the door. They cut through campus in a zigzagging path, slipping into alleyways, ducking under archways, doubling back to confuse possible pursuit. Castor's lungs burned, but adrenaline carried him. He kept glancing over his shoulder, half expecting Vrashek's hulking figure to emerge from the dark. Finally, the neon glow of the Four Corners bar came into view. Sara led him inside, their breaths sharp in the stale, beer-scented air. They dropped into a corner booth. For a long moment, neither spoke, letting the noise of the bar cloak them. Sara rubbed her temples.
I thought it was only him, just Vrashek. But those others... If there are more Krenn on Earth, this is worse than I imagined.
They didn't look like him.
No, but I don't know who else they could be.
Before we jump to that, let's talk about what happened back at the fjord with Freydis.
Yes, what was that?
She had a serious case of hating on you.
But I don't know why. Salin Sudis was the name of my ancestor that helped form the Oblivion Covenant. I'm not Salin.
I remember, but to be honest, you could be that woman's twin. Be hard to deny those genetics are bound together, alien or not.
Just a point here, Castor. Where I come from, you'd be the alien. Zorathian will do just fine.
Okay. Anyway, if Freydis is what I think she is, then maybe there's more to all of this than you realize, and we need answers.
You're right, I was going to contact Rismek.
But maybe Drimis first. If anyone can untangle this, it's her.
They went upstairs to the portal. Seconds later, a shimmering projection lit between them. Drimis's face appeared, sharp and mischievous as ever.
Well, well, if it isn't my favorite earthbound exile and her rather distractedly handful human companion.
You mean handsome, Drimis, not handful. But not now. I need information. Someone called Salin Sudis is definitely related to me somehow. Anything on her?
Nothing on that name. Not in any legitimate archives, and not in the ones I've acquired access to. I'll keep digging, but I did find something else. Your ancestry. I'm sorry, sweetie. 2 members of your line carry Oblivion Covenant convert tags.
That confirms it, but surely that's not possible.
I'm afraid it is. Not just your ancestor on the Ark Zerendor. It seems treachery runs deeper in your blood than you knew.
Sara's hands trembled. Castor reached across the table and put his hand on her arm, trying to comfort her. He cleared his throat, seizing the moment.
Drimis, this is Castor.
Oh yes, I know who you are, adorable. What can I do to you? Then we'll talk about my turn.
Well, Drimis, I think you mean what can you do for me instead of to me. But honestly, I'm not sure if you said what you really meant or not. Could you tell me if you can find any records of a Zarathian named Freydis? Do your records say anything about her? Or the 5 Ark ships?
Talking about another female wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. But yes, there are mentions. A Freydis commanded a rescue mission for the Erendor in the Milky Way. 12 under her command. None returned. The logs end there except for one note. Freydis herself went rogue after her party disappeared on Earth. And I don't know where you got information about 5 Ark ships when there were only 4.
But Freydis said 5.
Sorry, handsome. Only 4 Ark ships. The Erendor to the Milky Way, the Tresnin to the Triangulum Galaxy, the Sabavan to Barnard's Galaxy, and the Zerendor to what you cute little Earthlings call Caldwell 51.
The apartment door hung half open, swinging slightly, as if it still remembered the rush of escape. Vrashek bulled his way inside, the weight of Earth's atmosphere making every step a labor, his eyes narrowing at the quiet. He inhaled deeply, the residual scent of scorched air and portal energy stinging his throat. Empty. One of the Oblivion Covenant operatives, Talrin Vek, leaned against the doorframe, smirking.
Are you certain this is the right place? You do have a reputation for poor bearings and winding up in the wrong places.
The second agent, Silas, shot his companion an annoyed look, but the words were already airborne. Vrashek's head snapped toward the speaker, his pupils narrowing into predatory slits. His voice was a guttural growl.
You dare question me? You who sit watching a screen that tells you nothing save that you are weak.
Yes, I dare. To question incompetence. For all we know, the Zarathian girl lives 2 floors down, or 2 buildings.
Vrashek's strike swallowed the rest of the insult. The Krenn moved faster than his deteriorating form should have allowed, his clawed hand cracking across Talrin's jaw with a force that sent the woman sprawling back through the doorway. Silas stepped in immediately, planting a hand on Vrashek's chest, slowly but firmly.
Stop. We're allies in this, whether we like it or not. Tearing each other apart only makes Sudis's job easier.
Talrin flew back through the door, knocking both Silas and Vrashek to the floor. She was up like lightning, but not as fast as Silas. He grabbed his partner, locking one arm over her head and the other around her waist.
Enough. You two want to go at it after this mission is over. Do it. For now, though, we stay on mission.
Vrashek snarled but relented, though not without planting a second, measured smack against Talrin Vek's cheek, more insult than blow. Muttering in his own tongue, he spat something sharp and venomous that neither Covenant agent fully understood. For a long moment, only the sound of ragged breathing filled the small apartment. Then the Covenant's tracker device hummed to life, its display pulsing faintly with a lock. Talrin held it up.
There. The artifact's energy signature is active. And they're not far. Northeast, moving toward a cluster of campus buildings.
Good. Then we hunt. The three slipped out into the night, shadows blending with shadows. But the chaos they left behind did not go unnoticed. Across the hall, an elderly neighbor clutched her phone tightly to her ear, whispering to the 911 dispatcher about the terrifying noise, the crash of bodies, and 3 strangers she had never seen before. Her voice quavered as she described them, the tall, sickly man with burning eyes and his 2 equally strange companions. The dispatcher's voice came through, businesslike.
Miss, can you describe them?
Well, there were 3 of them. One big guy wearing a gray overcoat and 2 other regular-sized people.
Were the other 2 also male? Can you describe their ethnicity? Caucasian, Black, or Hispanic?
I really didn't look at their color, but one of them was a man and the other a woman. None of them were my next-door neighbor or that good-looking young man she's been keeping company with lately.
Two streets away, Private Detective Roger Allen had been sitting in his car, bored, listening to his police scanner, nursing a lukewarm cup of coffee. Habits he'd picked up before he had volunteered to leave the force.
Voluntold was more like it.
Then that dispatch had crackled through.
Any units near Washington Street? Report of a possible breaking and entering. 2 males and 1 female of unknown ethnicity. One of the males is larger, in a gray trench coat. Possible gang activity.
Gang? Trench coat? It's 75 degrees out here.
Seconds later, lo and behold, he spotted them. 3 figures moving quickly, too quickly, along the dim sidewalk. Fred narrowed his eyes, recognition sparking as the dispatch details lined up perfectly. He flipped the strap off his sidearm, keeping distance as he allowed his car to roll forward in a slow crawl.
All right, tonight just got more interesting. Let's see where this gang goes.
Ahead, Vrashek and the agents angled in the direction of the Four Corners bar. The fire crackled high against the biting night air, shadows stretching long across the circle of warriors. Freydis sat near the blaze, her iron spear driven point first into the earth beside her, her chin resting on her hands as she stared at the flame. Around her, voices rose and fell. Finally, one voice dared ask aloud what everyone was thinking.
Drottning Freydis, who is this Jarl Kastar?
Pressed her soon-to-be husband, Gyuki, his eyes narrowing like flint on steel.
Freydis? He comes to our dreams as though he were flesh. Is he God, ghost, or man?
The hush that followed pressed on her chest like chainmail. Freydis straightened, her braids catching the fire's glow.
Kastar is bound to my path. From my path before the clan, though he comes later. He is my blood, as I to him. When the sea rages, he is the mast. When the stars fall, he is the fire within the hall. You may call him Jarl, or wanderer, or stranger from beyond the whale road, but he walks as I do, from where I do, all the same. He is man.
From before?
Yes. The gods from beyond the stars who placed me here as keykeeper have also placed him, later in time, but for the same purpose, because he is of my blood. He is of the clan. He is of our clan.
She patted Gyuki's strong left arm. Murmurs rippled through the Vikings. Some nodded in quiet awe, others muttered suspicion. Then a youth, bold with mead, leaned forward and asked the name that cut sharper than steel.
And the violet-haired Salon you battled, who is she? What rival is this?
At that name, Freydis's jaw tightened. The fire roared higher, as though stirred by unseen winds. Her gaze flicked to the night sky, where the stars burned cold and eternal.
She is no rival of flesh. She is shadow and thorn. She is an oath-bearer whose path coils around mine like a serpent. To speak of her more is to call her down upon us. Best you let her name lie.
Freydis is real. The Krenn are closer than ever, and the truth about Sara's bloodline just cracked something that may never seal again. As enemies hunt through the night and unseen eyes monitor every word, one thing is clear. This was never just about survival. It's about who gets to decide what the past means and who pays for it. If you're enjoying the podcast, please like and subscribe Apple, Spotify, Listen Notes, wherever you listen. Until next time, keep your eyes on the curve.